Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs looking at, we're doing a new spread for this round of readings, your past, present, and future energy and love. The goal of this reading is to look at what you've kind of been through in your recent past, how that's affecting you now, where your blockages lie, and what you need to know moving forward in order to attract and sustain the relationships that you desire and deserve. As I do in all of my readings, I've pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second. But I still have the tarot deck I'll be using, the clarification deck, and the advice deck I'll be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. Please bear with me. I'm coming out of a little bit of a sickness, so my voice, I sound a little stuffed up, so bear with me on that front. All right, Scorpio, in your recent past, you have feelings with the Six of Swords in reverse. So in this past energy, it's this energy of being stuck, like stuck in your feelings, I guess, is a way to really summarize it. I feel as if there's been a relationship that's been lost here. Some relationship in your past. It doesn't necessarily need to be your recent past, but a relationship that has been lost somewhere in your past that you can't really seem to move on from. Now, I'm not saying this in a way that, you know, you're stuck on them necessarily, like wanting them back. Maybe you do, but I feel like stuck on the experience and all of the heartbreak that it has left you with. And it feels like you're having a hard time really moving forward from that, because in your current energy, you have harping with the Five of Pentacles. So there's this energy of really feeling like a deep sense of loss and lack. Like maybe there's this energy of, oh, if things would have worked out, like I'd be so much happier, things could have been so good, or this energy of like maybe just like it says dwelling on the past. I feel like there's just a lot of dwelling on maybe what went wrong, how you weren't good enough, even though I feel like that it's not that you weren't good enough, or what you could have done different, or the anger that you have toward the situation. And honestly, a lot of this is just kind of part of the grieving process. So I don't want to downplay, you know, anything that you're going through by any means, but I do know that what is meant for us will never, ever pass us. And when there is rejection involved and, you know, something doesn't work out the way that we expected, you'll hear me say this all the time on my channel, but, you know, rejection really is divine redirection and protection toward what is truly meant for us. And then in your immediate future, I feel like that's kind of starts to get proven true, because you have bright future with the justice. It's like you get your justice here in love. And I feel like this is things working out for you in a way that maybe you aren't fully expecting. It might not be the way that you think it will. You know, it might not even have anything to do with people who have hurt you or broken your heart, but still getting what it is. I mean, this is what it is that you deserve. Now, the overall theme for the reading is calling in your soulmate. So I feel, you know, this future energy is like the universe's way of saying you haven't met all the people who are meant to love you. And, you know, if you're feeling a loss in that department, it doesn't mean that you're going to be experiencing that forever. You do have a bright future. You can still get what it is that you deserve and love. Things can still work out for you here. I just feel like, but, you know, one of the biggest things that is going to be necessary is believing in that, because what we believe is going to be reflected back at us in our reality. And if we believe that we'll never be happy and that we'll always be miserable and we're destined to be alone forever, nothing will ever get as good as it, you know, could have been in the past, we kind of on some level, whether consciously or subconsciously, actually start to prove those beliefs correct. And the more that we can tap into the idea that we're always being led to our highest good in some way, shape, or form, the more that we can lean into a plan that's a little bit bigger than our own here. So let's start, Scorpio, by looking at your recent past. You have feelings with the Six of Swords in reverse. Scorpio's recent past in love. That's the same card that came out. I think it was in the Pisces reading. This is talking about a situation that you really gave your all to in some way, shape, or form. I feel like you really, like the Knight of Wands is vulnerability, is feeling like you're taking a risk. And then you have the Six of Pentacles in reverse. I don't feel like you were met with that same energy. And I feel like it has you kind of doubting whether or not you are good enough, because you're like, well, I put everything I had to give into a situation and it still didn't reciprocate, it still didn't work out, I still wasn't good enough. But I don't think it has anything to do with you not being good enough, Scorpio. Sometimes we're not asking for the wrong things, we're asking for the right things from the wrong people. And the more that we can kind of get in touch with how to decipher between kind of who's good for us and who's not good for us, the more that we will attract the right people into our life. Now, I'm not saying that whoever you are dealing with is necessarily wrong. Everyone holds a place and a space in our life for a reason, but the more that we're kind of willing to lean into the whole everything happens for a reason thing, the more that we can always lead to bigger and better things. I mean, again, you still have bright future with the Justice. Like, good is still very much possible for you here. Scorpio's recent past. Feelings with the Six of Swords in reverse. Man. All right. Oh, gosh. Okay. The Devil here. I feel like you were attached to, it's like a certain future. You had a certain future in mind, maybe with a person or just in general, because this Ten of Cups in reverse is an energy of like expectations. You had certain expectations, and part of you was like, this has to happen. If this doesn't happen, I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to ever be loved in the way I could have been loved. Like, this is as good as it'll ever get for me. And that attachment is, I feel, part of the reason why you are so stuck on the past a little bit, is because part of you does believe that you'll never be as happy as you could have been if things would have worked out the way that you expected them to. But there's one thing that I have learned. It is that some of the universe's, some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. I think back at certain periods in my life and certain relationships that I just thought I thought I needed these relationships to work out. If these relationships didn't work out, I was never going to be happy. Things were never going to be as good as they could have been. I couldn't have been further from the truth. It was just at that time in my mind that was as good as things could have gotten, because I didn't understand how good they could actually get. So sometimes we limit ourselves to a reality that we think is as good as it can get for us, when in reality there might be something that's so much better for you that you're not open to because you can't see the path to get there, which is so natural and so normal and very, very human and very understandable. But that attachment there with the Devil here, that can be tricky, because when we attach ourselves to a certain outcome, we hold ourselves hostage to basically saying, if things don't go this way, then they're going, like, enter worst case scenario. I'm going to be alone forever, or I'm going to have to settle, and I'll never have what it is I truly want and love, whatever the case may be. That was really weird. My robot vacuum just turned on out of nowhere. All right. Reset pass for Scorpio. That was very strange. It's not running, it just made noise. Ooh, okay. Page of Cups with the Ace of Swords. There's a deeper truth, a deeper reason as to why things didn't work out here. One that I feel you haven't fully realized yet, but once you do, it'll be easier for you to move forward. Because I feel like this Page of Cups is divine guidance. Like, whether or not you realize it, this was very divinely guided. This is something that, I don't know if like supposed to happen or meant to happen or destined to happen. I don't know exactly. Those all kind of sound a little cheesy to me, but like, I feel like this is definitely an experience that like your soul needed to go through to learn something. That's very vague. I know that's vague. I feel like we'll continue to uncover as we pull cards here. So, all right, deeper truth. This is a divinely guided experience, but you still have a bright future in love. So let's keep going. What does Scorpio need to know about their current energy in love here? Harping with the Five of Pentacles. can't be a fun sound to listen to through a microphone, so I apologize. All right, current energy for Scorpio. I'm feeling a lot better. I just obviously still have symptoms. All right. I feel like this experience in your past here has really affected your sense of self-worth. I feel like that seems to be a major theme in this reading. Feeling as if you're not good enough, as if, there's something like wrong with you, or there's something wrong with your ability to love, or I don't know what it is, but it's almost like with the 9 of Cups here, it's like you don't feel like you are good enough for what it is you truly want when it comes to love. And I feel like if you look back at this past experience, it's almost as if this brought this belief to life, like almost as if it gave it truth. But it's not true. At the core level, you are absolutely good enough for what it is that you want here, what it is you desire and love. But sometimes we go through situations that make us feel not good enough, so that we realize that we've been good enough all along. We've given the power to other people to decide whether or not we're good enough, when in reality that decision is entirely up to us. Other people don't determine our value, we determine our own value. And when we kind of dwell on how could I have been better, what could I have done differently, we miss the point that it's not about what you could have done differently to make things work out, okay? Sure, I think that it's important to always reflect on your role in things. Absolutely. I talk about that a ton on this channel. But I think it's also important to look at what wounds were being reflected back at you in this experience that is needing to be healed. Because if there's a part of you that believes, it's like you believe that if you weren't good enough for that experience, you'll never be good enough for what it is that you desire. But it's not that you weren't good enough. And I feel like that's where the switch in mindset needs to happen, is that, again, rejection is always divine protection. And I'm not saying you were rejected. Maybe you had to walk away from something. Maybe it's just like, it's like the universe somehow, made this not work out. And the reason for that is because, it's almost like there's better for you here, available for you. It's just that you didn't believe you're good enough for this. And this almost made you feel like, well, if I'm not good enough for this, I'll never be good enough for what I want. But it's the opposite. It's like you were, I don't want to say like too good, because I don't believe you should ever be like, I'm too good for that person. I think that's just ego talking. But, maybe you were too good for the way you were being treated, or too good, or not, deserving of more than what that person was capable of giving you. There are many other ways to phrase it and look at it. I'm going to not take those. Well, there's a 5 of Pentacles. I'm not going to take those. If they need to come out, they will again. I don't feel like I need to read them yet. All right, what else does Scorpio need to know about their current energy? Okay. The universe said, no, you will pull those cards. 6 of Pentacles in reverse, Page of Wands in reverse, and then, like I said, there's that 5 of Pentacles. Okay. And then there's the Justice in the immediate future. So here's the deal. I feel like there's a certain dynamic in your relationships that continues to play out. And this dynamic is very unfair to you, but it's also one that you were taught in childhood here, Page of Wands. Ooh. And that dynamic continues. It's like this energy of like bare minimum love. Bare minimum. Being okay with the bare minimum. And the universe is saying that bare minimum is not as good as it gets for you. And I feel like that's why certain situations didn't work out. It's not that what you were giving wasn't enough, or that you weren't deserving of what it is that you desired. It's that whatever you were giving to was incapable of reciprocating. And you were accepting the bare minimum, which wasn't as good as it could get, so the universe had to remove certain things from your life so that things could get better, so that you could have what it is that you deserve. So yeah, this energy of accepting bare minimum love when you were deserving of more. And I feel like that's kind of the main lesson here is it's not that you weren't good enough for more, it's that you were accepting too little, and you were deserving of quite a bit more here. But, I think that, again, one of the things that they don't tell you about growth is that every level of kind of growth that you hit, every time you level up, if you will, you are learning to set boundaries and love yourself a little bit more. You kind of go through this process of grieving the person that you once thought you would be and the life you once thought you would have, including the relationships with the people that once did resonate with you. And I feel like that's, the grieving process is just kind of part of recognizing that, like, yeah, that might not have been what was best for me, but it still sucks to lose because there's still a loss there. So I don't want to, again, downplay the way that you feel. You are valid in your experience. You are valid in your feelings. It's just looking at the bigger picture sometimes can help work through a lot of that stuff and get you to the other side of the experience. Because, the only way through it is through it. And, I think the more that we can look at the bright side and say, I know that the universe has my back and is always working to bring me my highest good. Maybe I don't fully believe that because I haven't fully experienced it, so I doubt it, but I'm going to lean into that belief because I know that whatever I believe and whatever beliefs I act on is going to be the reality that I create. All right, what else does Scorpio need to know about their current energy? So you can process through the past, sure, but process it through a new lens. Try to process it through the lens of, okay, how am I actually deserving of more than this? Not how was I not good enough for that? The Four of Wands in reverse with the Two of Wands and the Fool. You're actually headed toward a new beginning here in love, and it's one that is a lot better than you thought it could get in the past. And I think that that's because this Eight of Swords in reverse, this is actually my favorite card in tarot. This is breaking out of the limitations in your mind that keep you trapped in living in a reality that isn't as good as it can get for you. So, working a job you hate just to pay the bills, or being in relationships that don't serve you or that provide you with bare minimum love so that you're not alone, or thinking that level of love is as good as it could ever get for you, whatever the case might be. So it's so interesting looking at the overall energy and saying, like, this is actually working out for you in a way that is, like, better than you can even imagine. But your experience is the loss and the suffering, and I don't want to downplay that experience, but looking at kind of the universe's perspective. And it was interesting because I started out this reading with saying we can open up to a plan. When we can lean into the idea that the universe is always supporting our highest good, we can open up to a plan that is a little bit bigger than our own. That's a lot of what this is about. And leaning into this idea that maybe, whatever is lost is a lesson, is an experience, has to be validated, has to be felt, all those things. But maybe it's actually getting us closer to experiencing the life that we never thought we could have. And I feel like, because this Two of Wands, this is talking about alignment. This is alignment with a new beginning, a very unlimited potential kind of new beginning here. But your mindset with the Four of Wands in reverse is very negative in this experience. And I'm not, again, I completely get it. And I would feel the exact same way if I was going through what you were experiencing. So again, I'm not downplaying that. I'm not saying what you feel is wrong. But again, bigger picture thinking can certainly help, because the universe is saying, hey, it's like the universe is saying, it'll be so much better than you think it can be. You're going to get your justice. You have a bright future when it comes to your relationships and love. You might not have any idea what that looks like or when it'll come or whatever the case might be, but you don't need to. You just need to know that it's possible and lean into that belief a little bit, one day, one step at a time. So what does Scorpio need to know about their future in love? Does Scorpio need to know about I knew that was going to happen. Seven of Swords reverse, or Three of Swords reverse, Seven of Swords upright. You know, I think that one of the things that I've learned about, because we have to remember that tarot is a tool. It's not a source, it's a tool. It's a way to channel energy. And so any energy can be channeled through tarot, whether it is the truth, whether it is not the truth, whether it is good, whether it is bad. Any energy can be channeled through tarot. So, you know, the energy that I always focus on trying to channel is the energy of highest truth and compassion. So focusing on what needs to be heard, coming from, you know, the best knowledge possible for you to have, so that you can move forward in the absolute best way for yourself to create the best outcome, basically, is my goal for my readings. Pulling from guides, highest truth and compassion, spirit. And I say that, and I know it sounds like I'm getting a little off track, because I've learned that a lot of times when pulling from that energy and trying to bring future energy into a reading, it's almost like a lot of the times I get blocked from that, because I've learned that knowing the future completely negates the whole experience. Because if the universe is like, yeah, 100% Scorpio, in about 6 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days from now, you're going to meet your soulmate, everything's going to be perfect. Well, you, between now and that 6 months, whatever I said, 2 weeks and 3 days or whatever, you wouldn't learn anything. You wouldn't face fear. You wouldn't face anxiety. You wouldn't face insecurity. You wouldn't grow. You wouldn't heal. Nothing about your inner world would change, which would completely negate the whole experience. It's the whole experience is about growth. Our soul is here to learn and to grow and to face the darkness that exists in every single one of us and overcome it with light, blah, 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 blah. So what the universe is saying is the Seven of Swords, you know, this bright future, calling in your soulmate, it's something that is going to remain hidden from you until it's time, till divine timing plays its part. And the Three of Swords in reverse is an energy about healing. The more you focus on your healing, the more you focus on shifting that relationship with yourself, because our relationships with other people are a direct reflection of our relationship with ourselves. The more we shift and focus on that inner healing, the more that we call in the good into our life. You know, they really say that you find your person when you stop looking. And from my experience, that's absolutely true. You know, I didn't meet my fiance until I decided I was done dating. And I think that, you know, I had to get to a certain point where I basically said I would rather be alone than, you know, be in relationships where I was chasing or settling or being hurt over and over again. I was like, I'm gonna choose myself from this point forward. And that's when that relationship kind of made its way into my life. And it's funny because I say this all the time, but I would not have been ready for that connection, for the connection that I have with my fiance, unless I had gone through everything that I did. So sometimes we don't, and it was a completely unexpected experience. It was something I literally didn't think it was going to happen for like years and years, if at all. And it happened completely out of the blue. And I say that because, and I'm not saying everyone's, you know, journey is the same, but it really does happen in divine time. And when we focus on ourselves and we focus on, like I said, that relationship with ourselves and healing and, you know, doing the inner work, the universe is working miracles to bring things in to our life in ways that are completely unexpected. And the unexpected part is the most fun part, because that's when you go, oh my gosh, the universe does actually have my back and everything is always going according to plan, even when I don't understand how. So basically what I'm getting at with this message is, you know, you might not see how it's possible for things to turn out good in your love life. It might seem like it is something that is too good to be true. I get that a lot. Oh, this is too good to be true. It might, and trust me, I get it. Like what I have now, I've always thought was too good to be true. You know, all of these things that we tell ourselves, like that'll never happen to me. I always experience failed relationships. I'm not good enough for love. Whatever the case might be, we can't allow those truths to be what is true for us. It's true for you because it's what you've experienced, but it doesn't have to be true for you moving forward. So the universe, it almost feels like the universe is like, we have surprises for you. Bringing you people that, again, you haven't met everyone that is meant to love you. Bringing you people in unexpected ways. But in the meantime, the healing is actually what is calling those people in. So the healing and the growth and all the stuff that a lot of people don't want to do, right? They just want to snap their fingers and get everything that they desire, but that's just not the point of the journey. All right, what else does Scorpio need to know about their future energy? This is interesting. Okay. Like I heard when I pulled the Six of Cups, it's like it's better than the past ever could have been. That's what I'm getting with this. Let me clarify the Six of Cups. Better than the past ever could have been. Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. I'm not going to take those because that was the message here. Yes, okay. Better than the past ever could have been, but you don't see how. You don't see how. With this Eight of Swords, remember we talked about the Eight of Swords in reverse, releasing yourself from the limiting beliefs within your mind, and then Two of Pentacles in reverse. So the thing is, the universe is saying it can get so much better than this ever could have been. That's what this is about. It gets good. Like it gets good. It's just that you don't see how, and you've got to face the fears, doubts, insecurities, anger, emotions, all of the stuff. The healing is the point. The more you heal, the more you call in the people who, it's essentially the more you love yourself fully and truly and wholly, and realize that you are deserving of good things, and you are deserving of people that love you for all that you are. The more that you feel that way about yourself, the more you're going to attract people that feel that way about you too. Last one for Scorpio's immediate future here. The Nine of Pentacles and the Magician. With the Two of Pentacles in reverse again. You've spent a lot of time prioritizing the past. And the universe is asking you to look ahead. Because look at this. Magician, Nine of Pentacles. Wish fulfillment. Manifesting wish fulfillment here. In your immediate future. But the more you prioritize the past, the less you heal and move forward to the future. What you desire doesn't exist behind you. It exists ahead of you. And understand that, looking back, the bare minimum that you were receiving isn't as good as what it is you truly deserve. And the more that you truly see that, the more that you'll start to, the more you'll start to love yourself. Because you'll go, yeah, you're right. I am deserving more. That random tarot reader was right. I am deserving of a lot more than what I was receiving. All right, I'm going to hop on over to the extended. We looked at what you need to know to move forward in alignment with your higher self. This extended is what you can do to ensure you're moving forward in alignment with your higher self to create and track the relationships you deserve and desire. Any information for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much, Scorpio, as always, for your support of my channel. I obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Scorpio, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Scorpio.